Divine greetings and gratitude, everyone. If y'all are new here, my name is Nuna. I am the witch, the writer, the author, the poet, and the Saiyonan sage of the Saiyonan Archives. Welcome. And if y'all are returning, hey family, welcome back to our sacred space. I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. If you are listening to this on the podcast, welcome back to our podcast. As you can tell by the artwork, we changed a lot of things around, and I'm super excited to be getting into some changes and perhaps maybe giving an intuitive message as we progress into this podcast episode. Now, for those of you guys that are watching us on the YouTube channel, as you can tell, I started off this YouTube channel coming from Magick of Eden. So if you guys are here from Magick of Eden, welcome to this space. Of course, I'm excited. Real quick disclaimer. I do have boys. I have 4 of them. They are in the background right now. More than likely, if you guys hear noises, it's because they're awake and they don't go to bed until about 9 o'clock. I needed to stop what I was doing to come and give you guys this message. So you guys may or may not hear some noise in the background. I will do the best that I can to edit the sound out. That way it's not too much of an interference. Now, so what changed? Well, the reason why we are here on the Saiyonan YouTube channel is because I felt intuitively called to start a new channel, and I sat on this idea for like 6 months. And I really honestly did not know why. I just knew that for whatever reason, I really did need that new start, that fresh start. And it's so interesting because the divine timing, I actually ended up starting it, if I'm not mistaken, on the Gemini new moon that we had. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was a really good decision. And the reason is because so many things are changing and I'm being called to operate in a very specific way. As you guys know, if y'all have been following me on Instagram, you guys know that we have a 508c1a ecclesiastical religious assembly, and I'm super excited to have that. And the reason is because I felt like I wanted to operate privately, of course, because I've been working with Saturn. I'm ruled by Saturn. Well, I'm ruled by Venus. Venus is my primary ruler or my chart ruler. However, my sun is in Capricorn and my moon is in Sagittarius and whatnot. So I'm ruled by the 2 spiritual teachers. Now, working with Saturn, I know that I'm called to do something not governmental, but I'm meant to do things privately. That way I can share my teachings with my soul tribe and help my soul tribe transcend beyond their pain and suffering without any type of government interference. So the best thing that I knew that I needed to do, what I felt called to do, was create this 508c1a ecclesiastical religious assembly to ensure that my soul tribe and I were able to fellowship together in private, that way we were able to just dive into our spiritual essence, evolve, grow, and enjoy this matrix together without having anyone infiltrating what we have going on. I wanted to make sure that we had a space where we were lawfully protected as well as spiritually protected, because to be honest with you, they do go hand in hand. So that's really in a nutshell the reason why I decided to change things around. And I also want to say too, that because I did that, I am no longer operating in commerce. So you will not hear me say anything like I'm selling this oil or I have this candle on sale. I do not operate in commerce. So as you guys can tell, if you guys have not went to the website is the SaiyonanPath.org. I will get into that a little bit later down the line, maybe in this podcast episode or maybe in the next. I'm not sure yet, but anyway. And also maybe in another YouTube video. Let me not forget that we're on YouTube. So anyway, yes. So I no longer operate in commerce. And the reason is because, well, I'm operating privately. And I have to change the verbiage and I have to get used to this new way of being, which I'm really excited about. It does take a little bit getting used to, but I'm catching on very quickly. I'm super excited, super happy. So if you go to the website, like I was saying, if you go to the website, you'll notice that I'll state that I don't sell anything, but I do offer Saiyonan or sacred essentials, right, to you. And then you can offer a fixed donation, and that's what those quote unquote prices, air quotations, prices are on the website. Those are not prices, those are fixed donations. You guys donate to me and I extend the offering to you to help you work your magic, to help you transcend beyond your pain and suffering, so that we can activate our super consciousness. And that is what I'm all about. That is what I'm here to do. So the amazing thing about this though is that I really want to start getting you guys used to me sharing a lot more of my poetry, because at the very beginning, I don't feel like I was honoring the fact that I was a writer before I figured out that I was a witch, or remembered that I was a witch, really. And I don't feel like I was really honoring that poetic aspect of me, because I felt like there was always this demand for me to show up and give an intuitive message, for me to show up and give some type of profound guidance or what have you. And so I feel like a part of me was not honoring the fact that I wanted to write, and the fact that I know that I'm meant to teach through performative arts like poetry or spoken word poetry and things like that. So that's what this journey really is going to be about. It's not only going to be about poetry, but it's really just blending every single thing, taking these prophetic wisdoms and these prophetic messages and intuitive hunches and writing them down and writing them and turning them into a poem. That way I can perform them in whatever space that I'm meant to perform them in, whether it be I go out to perform them or whether I create my own space. I know that my journey is unique, and I know that the type of poetry that I write is so different, and well, the meat of it is very different, right? Like I started off doing things that were more relatable, and I'm in a space where I'm no longer trying to be relatable. I'm just allowing it to be what it is without forcing it or without trying to constantly refine it to make it palatable or easily digestible by people. And I'm just simply embracing all that I am, which is the reason why I feel like Spirit was truly guiding me to start this new podcast, or to revamp it or rebrand it, if you will. I don't really like using the term rebrand, but for lack of better terms, rebrand, air quotations, for the podcast. And I really feel like Spirit is saying is that you are an elder in training, so you need to amp it up a bit. So I'm honoring it. I'm allowing myself to not necessarily play with my intuition, but allow my intuition to shine through, or shine through my poetry, I should say, without feeling the need to constantly refine. Like, if you guys know, which I don't know if you do, but my Chiron is a Virgo. So with my Chiron being in Virgo in the 5th house, I feel like I always have to refine myself for me to be received. And that's one of the things that I feel like I'm getting out of. And it's so amazing how when you work your magic, and when you really work your magic, and when you really put that work in, that shit will show. And if you are not ready to change, if you are not ready to evolve, that shit will backfire, like not even playing around. That is how serious I feel like my magic is. It has always been that serious, and it's the reason why I'm always constantly evolving and growing. And of course, I'm always going to extend that magic with you, which is another reason why I decided that I wanted to just go ahead and follow Spirit and start the new YouTube channel. Even though it may seem scary to start all over again, it just is what it is. I'm happy. I'm excited. I know that this time around, I'm able to slow all the way down and do things my way without having to do them so systematically, which is what I felt that I was doing over at the Magick of Eden YouTube channel. So we are starting fresh per se, but not really starting from fresh. We're starting from wisdom, right? Because how many times do we say things like, if I knew then what I knew now, I would have done this. I would have done this differently. And I feel like this is my chance. This is my clean slate, but it's not just about me. This is about you guys. It's about all of us. But the only way that I can be of service is if I allow these changes to unfold, and I allow myself to just simply be and exist and share every aspect of myself. I'm tired of feeling like I have to niche down because of an algorithm. Like, I am like, fuck the algorithm at this point. I just want to be, I just want to exist. You want to play around and you want to make sure that you're doing what you can to get out there. But this time I'm making sure that I shut everything out without looking at this video to see if I'm doing this right, or it's a lot. I'm doing things my way, air quotations for the podcast, my way, but I'm really allowing myself to fall full into the void, fully into God's hands, and just allow myself to just be led by Spirit. I mean, that's really what it is. Intuition on point, intuition on fleek. That is what we're doing. The Saiyonan path is a system that I am creating that is rooted in divine feminine knowing. It is a system that I am creating and perfecting over the course of time, of course, for my soul tribe, to help them transcend beyond their pain and suffering in a very magical and a very ritualistic way, to help them on their path of remembrance. So that really is what the Saiyonan path is all about. It's where I merge my intuition with my with my creativity, and I write and I explore and I present the teachings to you. For whoever resonates with that, they take it with them and then they apply it to their own lives. And if it works, it does. And if it doesn't, they leave it as a gift for someone else. And that's just the type of time I'm on. So yes, the Saiyonan path was actually born when I got this download. It was so wild how it happened, and it came through like lightning speed, but I didn't realize that even though it came through like lightning, I had already been walking the path of remembrance. And it wasn't until Spirit set me down and I started meditating even more, I started to become more rigorous with my meditation. And Spirit is saying is that truly all of you are on a path of remembrance. You're saying it in a different way, but that's because you're meant to birth this thing to help your soul tribe. You're here to create. So I feel like I don't want to take the elitist route to Magick. I don't want to take that route, because after reading books and after, you know, immersing myself into these different books and topics, I feel like sometimes it can feel very elitist, and it can feel very like the word is classism. Like classism, it almost kind of feels like for some of these systems of magic, it's reserved for like a certain group of people. And I feel like it's just not the case here. I feel like even though magic should not always be easily accessible, I just feel like magic is a lot more accessible than we think that it is. And the reason is because we ourselves are magic. And my goal, even though this is a very unpopular opinion, it is what it is, whatever, I'm gonna just let it be what it is. I feel like I'm one of those people that truly believes that you don't always need tools. If you guys hear anything, is because my 3-year-old is in here. Don't you touch nothing. You better not touch nothing. Get out of here, Rashad. Anyway, my 3-year-old's right here. So yes, you can come in and get him. It's okay. my 3-year-old is in here. He's like, what is mommy doing? Let me bother her real quick. I kind of forgot where I was at. Bye, baby. I will let you guys see him, but he's in his underwear. Anyway, so where was I? Damn, I forgot that fast. See, this is the reason why I try to stay on topic. Like, this is why I don't like distractions, because then I forget, but whatever. Yeah, we're just gonna let it go. Because I don't remember If you guys have kids and y'all know that mom brain is so real, your baby will come in and then you just like everything else, like nothing else matters. You're just like, okay, my baby's here, what's going on? And sometimes it is just so defeating, because I'm like, I was doing something and saying something important, but what is it? But anyway, so yes, that is in a nutshell the reason why I did create the Saiyonan path. It is still under construction, as I want to say, and I'm really excited. I know that it's going to take some years. I'm working on a grimoire that I may or may not be sharing with the world, but I know that I'm going to be passing that grimoire down to the children of my family once I am of age, when my work is done and I just want to relax and just, you know, be done and just enjoy my life without having to, you know, fully, you know, be of service. I could just be in my own energy. That's when I'll start to pass the grimoire down. We'll see. Or maybe when my body decides it wants to give out, and then I go back to the stars and I'm just like, okay, well, you guys can keep it now. You know, I have no use for it, obviously. Anyway, Capricorn coming through. Of course I will be talking about that. Why, right? Because this is my legacy. Because this is legacy. And I feel like that is something that Spirit has really been speaking loudly about. I feel like a lot of people right now, and the word is identity. I'm getting a download right now, you guys. I'm getting transmissions. This is all about legacy, and it's not just about how you'll be remembered, but it's also about the fact that you are creating something, or someone wants to create something that is going to outlive them, as long as you trust in your guides, as long as you trust in yourself, and as long as you do what you must do. What you are building, what you are creating will outlive you. You just have to be consistent, and you have to remind people of who they are. And as long as you have integrity, as long as you are doing what you need to do, and it is righteous, you have nothing to worry about. That is your legacy. Right now, I do feel like for me, I was kind of hesitant before I shared any of this. And the reason was because I always go through these moments where I'm just like, okay, who the fuck do I think I am? Like, do I really need to be creating this? Like, should I be creating this? I always second guess it. And that's how I know that I'm doing something right, because I know that I'll second guess it at times. At other times, I'm just confident and shit. You can tell me, I'm like, yep, I'm doing it. It is what it is. And at other times, when it's something so big, it sometimes is that human experience where I'm just like, okay, should I really be doing this? And it's like, absolutely, why not? Like, give yourself the audacity. And that's something that has been coming through a lot, where we have to get into the habit of giving ourselves the audacity. And we also have to shut the noise out, like keep the noise out. Opinions, thoughts, other people's processes, what they feel and believe, that shit is just noise. And it's not to dismiss anyone. It's just to say that when you keep allowing those things in, it keeps you away from you doing what you need to do. It keeps you away from your mission. And also it drowns out your color, right? You don't want to be out in the world, you know, wearing gray unless you want to, right? Like if you want to wear all gray, I mean, do you? Like, it's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, like, you get the metaphor. What I'm saying is that you are someone full of color. Your, not just your attitude, but your voice, right? Your instrument, the way that you speak, the way that you walk, what you wear, your fashion, right? Your gifts and your talents. These are all colors of you. And Spirit is saying is that you want not to be one color, but be the whole fucking rainbow. Spirit didn't curse, I did. But like, be the whole rainbow. Right. And I feel like Spirit is saying is that if you're listening to this now, this is not the time for you to niche down, and it's not the time for you to play small. If you have something to share and teach with this world, give yourself the audacity and do it anyway. And if people don't like it, they don't have to. But you do what you must do, because there is a lesson, there is wisdom that can be drawn and pulled from any of these spaces. It's all in a matter of how you choose to do it and whether you do it, right? Like, I feel like there are so many people right now who are suffering because they are not allowing themselves to color or to add color to their lives, or even to be the color. And I don't know why Spirit is saying, like, be the color. You are the color. You are a spectrum that we have never seen before, and we have to honor that. So my way of being colorful is by giving y'all the poems that y'all didn't ask for. My way of being colorful is giving you guys the downloaded messages that you may or may not need. And if you don't need them, just kindly reserve them as a gift that could be that someone else can use, and we will be on our merry way. And I love that. And I also love you. So yes, what you can expect here on the Saiyonan Archives YouTube channel and also in the podcast is you can expect transmissions. Now, transmissions are when I'm talking, we're having a conversation, and then something comes through and I transmit that to you. That is a transmission. It is a divine download that I interpret, that I give to you in hopes that it does help you along your journey, or that it does help someone else along their journey. These transmissions are divinely led. They are prophetic, obviously very deeply intuitive, and they may come out in the form of art, or they may come out in the form of creativity. So that is really what the transmission is. Again, we're getting used to changing the language. At least me, I am. And I'm hoping that if you guys are still here, that you too get used to the language, because things are about to get a lot more intergalactic. And I say that because there is a lot of things happening now that I've been noticing, and there are a lot of things that I can see happening in the future. And so my job, which is not really a job, it's a calling. My calling is to help you activate, like I said, this super consciousness, help me myself activate the super consciousness, but not even just that, be the embodiment. Because the Saiyonan philosophy is, you know how you have your as above, so below, your as within, so without? Well, according to me, in my philosophy, it is as remembered, so embodied. And when that came through, I was like, there is no way. As remembered, so embodied. Because the more that you pace your journey, the more that you go beyond, the more that you journey alongside whoever else or whatever, like the more that you do your work, the more that you do your spiritual work, the more that you remember. See, the awakening or the transformation really is what it looks like on the outside. It's the outer reflection, but really the transformation is just, it starts internally. And once you remember, you then become what people will believe to be a new person or a new being or whatever it may be. But really what it is you unlocking that aspect of yourself that was already there, because you already contain everything. It looks like a transformation because people haven't seen it, but it's really you remembering. So it's really both, right? But before you can even remember, you have to awaken. And so I feel like this path is for people who are already awakened, who are may or may not be struggling with remembering, or they need help with unlocking codes within themselves. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave it there. I will say that what activated this path for me, ironically, was the fact that I ended up having PCOS symptoms. I actually do experience PCOS, and I am in the process of healing that. And it wasn't until I returned back to my womb space fully where a lot of things started happening. And you guys already know by now that I have a very strong intuition. My moon is in the 8th house in the sign of Sagittarius. So I have a razor sharp intuition, and I'm very in tune with the shadow aspect, with the shadow realm, and also with the light realm. So I'm very, very highly intuitive. And it wasn't until I returned back to my womb space fully, I started to unlock and remember so many things. My intuition started to get sharper. I started to, dream of things even more vividly, as if my dreams couldn't even get more vivid, right? They have been so vivid. Like at times it is hard to distinguish whether or not I'm in this world or the dream world. That is how strong it is. And when you know, right? Like when you have Sagittarian energy, and when you are operating in that energy, Sagittarius energy is so profoundly wise and prophetic. And I don't really want to say ethereal, but it can be very ethereal, but it also can be very intergalactic and very philosophical. It can be very intergalactic and very philosophical. So I feel like for me, tapping into that moon energy even deeper, I didn't realize how deep it can go. And that's how I'm able to remember so many things. And that is how now I'm going to be sharing those things with you. I feel like I rambled, but I don't want to call it a ramble. I want to call it a transmission. And yes. So anyway, what am I saying all this for? Because I have so much to share with you. I have so many things I want to give to you. I have so many poems to share. This book right here, The Magic of Healing, Merging Poetry and Witchcraft. You guys will see that it says Cassandra Turner on there. If you guys can see that on the YouTube channel. I want to share more poetry with you guys. I want to, read you guys poetry and maybe perform a few pieces here on the podcast when I can. I really want you guys to get used to that. Also, I'm going to be getting into some topics that may be a bit taboo. I have not decided fully whether or not I want to keep it on this platform or whether I want to keep it separate. But to be honest with you, I'm thinking and highly considering just kind of putting everything together. So for those of y'all that are new to my YouTube channel, as you guys can see, I hope that y'all feel comfortable here. As you guys can see, I'm just chilling, laying back, and hoping that you guys do find a safe space here, because if there's anything that I really do want, is for you guys to feel safe, is for you to be yourself, is for you to just embrace all that you are without apology, and know that no matter what, you can transcend beyond your pain, your suffering, and you don't have to do it in a way that anyone else tells you, but I am here to help you just in case you do need that help. We're going to be doing journal prompts. We're going to be doing readings. We're going to be doing astrology readings. We're going to be going into poetry and, right, like, these transmissions. There's so many things. We're going to be writing. For those of you guys, again, that don't know, I love writing. Writing is just, oh my goodness, it is just my go-to. I love writing and reading. Anyway, so we're going to be doing a lot more of that. Yeah. And we're going to be doing it privately. Okay, you guys, I completely forgot to tell you guys this. However, I do have a behind the scenes, well, not behind the scenes, but I have a platform on my website. It is called the Saiyonan Archives, but those are the videos that I will go into where I will give readings and whatnot, but I also will be doing some BDSM readings and things like that, and I'll also be going into the topics and also into things that I cannot share on YouTube because of how strict it is. So I forgot to tell you guys that, but I wanted to insert it here in the video somewhere, that way you guys know not to miss out on that. Also, I'm gonna make sure to have that linked either in the description box or in the comment section, because I really want to make sure that you guys have access to that. Also, that is something that is private. I will not share those videos out in the public with anyone else. The only reason why they will be in the public, it will be because of the site that I use. I use Vimeo to create the videos, and then I will make sure that it's private to where no one can see it on Vimeo at all. The only ones who can see it are the ones who have it reserved, right? If you guys go to devotions, you'll see that you guys can pay $5, well, not pay, but you guys give a $5 donation every month as devotion so that you guys can have access. I'm gonna make sure that I link that down in the comment section. That is reserved for the Saiyonan Archives. I will not be sharing those videos with anyone else. The only ones who can see them are the ones who have access, okay? Also, those are videos that we get into that we cannot share on YouTube because of the nature of them. They may be too, you know, exual, if you will. They may have a lot of curse words in it because sometimes I do have a strong potty mouth, and if I feel like I'm cursing a bit too much, I'll make sure to, you know, just kind of leave it private. And yeah, because I don't want to filter myself out at all. So I'll make sure that I do that. So make sure that you guys look at the link down below, click it, and then it'll take you there. Big highlight to the fact that I no longer say that I have an apothecary. I don't have an apothecary. I have an ETHERIUM. And the ETHERIUM is that essentially where it's the womb space in which the Saiyonan essentials exist. And it is where I have my candles, my oils, my bath salts, and my witchy tools and whatnot that help you during ritual and during ceremony. And yeah, so I no longer say, again, the apothecary. It is called the ETHERIUM. So whenever you hear me say ETHERIUM, I'm talking about the apothecary, but I feel like that term is just, it's very legit, right? Like lots of witches have apothecaries, and people who are not witches have them and whatnot, or they may not call themselves witches. But you know, apothecary is a very popular term. I am changing things around. I am really trusting my own ability to create and carry it as far as I possibly can. As far as, you know, divine willing, I'll go. And yeah, so again, I don't say apothecary anymore. I call it an ETHERIUM. Things are getting a lot more intergalactic. I'm expressing this other dimension of myself where things will get very cosmic with me. And I'm hoping to share that with you in hopes that it helps you to unlock that aspect within yourself as well. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on here. I hope that you guys enjoyed our little chat. If y'all need anything from me, please feel free to visit me online over at the SaiyonanPath.org. And if y'all wish to, you guys can follow along with me over on Instagram at Magick of Eden. You guys can also enter the shadows by following me on at Shadows X Magic. I'll make sure to link it down below. And yes, this is my time, you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for coming on here. The next video that we're going to do is probably going to be a reading. We'll see how I feel. And yeah, or we'll see what Divine says, right? So yeah, thank you guys for chilling with me. And I'll catch you in my next video. And I'll catch you guys in the next podcast episode.